The light is so bright here. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo Webinar. It is Saturday, the 20th of November, 2021, and we have today with us a very special guest. We have Nicola Beckett from the UK, and we want to welcome her here today. She is a Reiki practitioner, a holistic therapist, or holistic practitioner, a Reiki therapist. She works together with Metatron and her guides in nature to provide healing and to teach meditation and guide people towards more knowing of themselves. Is that correct? I think
that's right, Karen. Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah. Let me just make sure I'm on the right YouTube channel because it went a little bit. Yes, we're on the right one. Perfect. Okay. So, Nicola, it's so nice to have you here. Generally, we start off with a blessing. So I thought it would be great if you could lead us in a wonderful blessing as we start this this day.
Okay. Of course, yeah.
And just one second, mute this here. It's very slow. Let me see. Let me see. It's my computer is doing some strange things at the moment, so some energy is high on the computer. And I'm trying to mute the YouTube that opened and it wouldn't let me. Okay, great. All right. So why don't you lead us in a blessing? I appreciate it.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to call Metatron and all of the trees that surround us, wherever we are in our planet. And I call all of the higher light beings that wish to come and work with us to bless us and for us to open our hearts and enable this space to be filled with love and joy that extends all the way out to every single being on this planet. I bless you all with love and joy and light. Namaste.
Peace. Beautiful. So, Nicola, let me just adjust myself here. I've got the light shining right in my face, which is there. Okay, that should be better. So you are where in the UK? Where are you?
I'm in Portsmouth.
Okay.
In the UK, so the south of England.
Nice. Are you close to the harbor there? When I could take the ferry there to see you, near Southampton. Is that right?
Not far away, probably about 10, 15 miles away. I can't remember. From Southampton, not far, and not far away from the countryside either, because we're a little island. We're surrounded by water, so it's very good for energy work. But it's living within a city. I'm a light beacon. That's how I feel I am.
Yeah.
And I imagine God's viewpoint being the eagle, the higher perspective, and he sees all the little lights shining of the healers. There's quite a few of us in Portsmouth. I feel their energy, but I've been developing this beacon of light for a long time. Yeah, and it works.
So you grew up in that area, I assume? Is that where you're from?
So I'm from a place called Horndine, a little village not far from a larger town called Petersfield, and it's in the countryside. So I was brought up with the trees, and
also were you brought up with the earth spirits, the little people, and all of that? Fairies. That's fascinating to me. The fairies.
Yeah. So they come to us. They've always come to me in lilac. Very subtle colours, but the more I've focused on the lilac now, the more I've seen other colours. And
what do you mean? Are you focused on the lilac flower, or are you focused on the color?
No. So the most important thing to be able to communicate, connect with nature and then trees is to just sit in peace and commune with God through the trees. And that comes with peace, practice, stillness, focus, and then the answers will come. But not only that, you can do it with your eyes open, but it's finite concentration and beautiful concentrated breath work. almost takes your breath away as you gaze one point, one focus, maybe on a piece of bark of a tree or one leaf of a tree or a plant. And then that's when you start to notice vibration. It can take up to 20 minutes because you need to let go of the human mind and whatever you've been doing that day. Early mornings for me is really good. And it's just focusing. And then you start to see and notice around you. So your peripheral vision starts to sort of shimmer. This is how it happens for me. And then I start to notice lilac. And if I focus more and more, not only am I in peace and quiet, I'm beckoned to go deeper by my guides. And this has happened recently. I could talk about this for hours, which hopefully I will. And
no, you can, for sure.
Yeah.
This is a very fascinating subject for a lot of people.
So as I walk deeper, so this is how it started with, I'll go on to that bit in a minute, but from a young age, we were taken into the forest and taught about animals. And for a long time, this pigeon would follow me. And I would say to Dad, it's amazing. Wherever I go, this pigeon, it's incredible. I have a real affiliation with this pigeon. And he went, oh, gosh, really? And eventually, when I got to about 25, I realised that I heard the pigeon really loudly. And it was my dad after all those years. So he taught me the energy of laughter within the forest. And our laughter would ricochet from tree to tree. And I think when each cell and each particle is filled with laughter, you start to shine and radiate. And that's how I've started to become this beacon here. But within the forest, it became so easy to just immerse myself and sit and with my guides just wait and watch. And with each tree it would unfold with many different colors, vibrations, frequencies. And throughout my life I've been experiencing different trauma throughout my life. And when I was about 12, I connected into Bowie. And
into what?
Into Bowie, David Bowie.
Oh,
And
David. Okay, we call him David Bowie, but David Bowie.
Okay,
it's probably more correct.
Yeah. Either or, everything's good, isn't it? And Space Oddity, and my family really got this, but he was very much into nature and trees. And
do you know, I just want to tell you, I wrote a song to a Lakshmi mantra based on the chords of this Space Oddity song.
Did you?
Because there's there where it goes
this is ground control.
And when he goes, I'm falling, when he goes, I'm calling, caught in a landslide, you know that part?
Yeah.
I love the earth. I wrote something that was like Tano Lakshmi Takadaya. It's the same chord progression because it's just that lift and fall that's so beautiful in that.
May God's love be with you. And that's enough, isn't it? He was always singing out to me from a young age. Oh, look at that baby.
I don't know why
animals, trees, nature.
Yeah, I have a thing with trees as well. I have when I was 5 or 6, there was this amazing tree on the side of my house, and I could climb it. Tom, come on, go lay down. Seriously, where I could climb it, and there was a branch that was long, and I could stand on this long branch and hold on to 2 branches and walk down the branch where it would bend and then land on the fence. And I would sit on this branch, and against the tree, but that I would sit in the tree and talk to the tree. And I knew the tree was talking back, and no one believed me, but I spent many a day in that beautiful tree. And I have still to this moment, I can tune into it and reconnect to it. And there's 2 trees on my street here. There's 2 sister trees that kind of grow like this. They don't interfere in each other's space, but they're very tall pine trees, and they're very, very about 5 stories high. And they just kind of bend like this. And I call them Thalia and Thea. And I've talked to them every day as I go by. And if I don't say something to them, they say, hello, are you ignoring us? Yeah. Yeah.
You really can. They're amazing. They really are amazing. We really need to respect them and to hear their voice. And that's what they want, isn't it? They want us to commune with them. They're our elders, they're our wisdom. They're so wise. They've got so much knowledge to impart. They're grandmothers and grandfathers of this world.
They are, for sure. And when you talk about the fairies, the shimmer, that is the fairy, right?
Yeah, it's the energy. It's the energy of them. I mean,
I thought so. Yeah.
If you approach a tree, I've got so much in my head that I want to share with you. But
sure,
just hone it in. So when you connect in with the tree, for me, it can be done in many different ways. And if I'm unsure, so I'll walk into a forest and I'll think, gosh, right, I'll call my guide, I'll call Metatron. And because he always works with different light codes, he'll show me. So it might be the seed of life or his cube. And if I know it's the seed of life, then it's got to be a particular tree. And I'll just wait and I'll breathe. And he almost says, take a seat. So I just wait there. And so it's working with what's happened in your day, whether you need to have that time out, just breathe. I always like to work with the square breath. And then eventually after 2 squares, that's when you settle down a bit and they can say she's showing willing. And that's when things start to unravel. And I will ask permission. Is so important when you approach a tree. And if you approach it and just say, am I able to work with you today? Can I touch you today? And the tree will either say yes or no. And if it's a no, then you just move on and find the next one. And the next one will almost be going, me.
It's true, they do. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. It was supposed to be me anyway. Why did you go there? I was like, oh, well, you need to work with all the different energies.
They get a little, not annoyed, but they do kind of, are like, why are you ignoring me? Especially if you talk to them once and then you don't acknowledge them again.
Yeah, just like Fae. Fae can be a little bit like that, can't they? Fairies.
That was going to be my following question. Have you experienced the mischievousness of the Fae?
I have. In a place called Kingley Vale, there is a very, very beautiful mystical place. It's full of yews trees.
We had a guy on here once, I will tell you, that he was healed in the midst of the yew trees. His name's Michael. I don't remember his name, but I thought about him the other day, and he was very sick. Like he had something that no one could diagnose, and he was so weak, and he spent a year living in the center of a tree. You know how they grow and they have these, he lived in one. I had him on the show, I think it was my radio show, not this show, but years ago. And his story is fascinating. But sure, please go ahead. Yeah, that's why the UK people is so amazing, because all of that Celtic, Druid, goddess energy that is just imbued in the land of, that's just never really left the culture of the people in the UK, which is so nice. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, they're like, as you walk into Kingley Vale, there's a long approach and it's open fields either side, and you can start to connect into, this is a hawthorn, this is a maple, a hedge maple, I think it's called, because a partner was teaching me all about the trees, and it was when he was speaking, the trees were coming through his words and we were like levitated up. It was just an incredible way of learning. And then eventually you come to the edge of Kingley Vale, and there's kind of a little education centre that tells you this history, and it dates back to Ice Age. So you're instantly projected there into the years anyway, of like, oh my goodness, some of these are really, really ancient
Wow.
hundreds and hundreds of years old. And then as you walk through, you're starting to see and connect in with the ancient years, and she said some of them are hollowed out. And then you walk on and they get a bit more denser and stronger, the energy, because they're not so on the outskirts. I think they're more the protectors and the buffers, taking all the wind and like, we will stand still. We've done this to the test of time, and you can hear them roar. So they're busy doing that. You think, oh, okay. Yeah. And as you go in a bit deeper, that's when you start to feel the majestical sort of aspects of tree energy, the vibrations. And there was one time, because I've been there a lot of times, and this is where the druids go to perform their rituals and give blessings. I looked into a hollowed yew, and I could see this light, this blue light, just moving up and down, just hovering. And I took a photo, and she let me take a photo of her. Wow. But you could feel the energy of her just moving around, only in this like little area. But it was like her saying, this is my tree, I love it. And watch me, watch how pretty I am. Look at how I move and vibrate. I might any minute now just shoot off, but just focus on me. And wow. So then we'd go off, and as I walked around the different yew trees, you'd see different blessings and offerings that had been placed along and inside different parts, different yew trees. So each druid would have their own tree to work with.
Wow.
And then you'd find a little niche where you could just comfortably, like your tree, just snuggle in and sit and just relax and feel the energy of the tree. It's almost like the yew was holding you, cuddling you, rocking you. And from then you walk up, you're going to have to come. You have to go to Kingly Vale. You walk up into this open area again, and then just recently we've got a parasite running through all the ash trees at the moment, killing them off, which is a shame, like a paraben. And you can really notice this difference. And I don't know whether you know about ash trees, but the deers really, really like to eat them. And there are ash and some beech there. So there's only not that many.
Ash trees are the ones where the bark peels off. It kind of looks like skin and it peels off. Is that the ash tree?
Yeah. And they're
very, those trees are very sacred in India, the ash tree. In Hinduism, it's a very sacred tree.
Yeah. So you can see the I think it's cultivating or the protection that they use felled trees to create the squares around the baby ash trees, so that as they get to a certain age and a certain height, they've grown more nutrients and more defense to protect themselves, to dispel the deer. They're not interested then, but by that time, naturally, the wood has fallen down to feed the forest floor, and the ash majestically comes up nice and strong, only to be sort of attacked by this paraben. But that's how ash trees are supported by the Forestry Commission in Kingly Vale at the moment. So we walk past all of the ash trees, and then you come to this mind-blowingly beautiful grove of about a mile across, I would say, of yew trees. Maybe it's not quite a mile. I'm not great with distance, but half a mile. And it could be a mile. They're almost so perfect, and it's quite rare to get yews living growing in groves. So there's one way up, but if you go right to the top, so you can walk up really high incline and then walk through the yews, you're almost looking underneath this darkness. Wow. And you can see where they used to grow and use the long arrows and create those. And my teacher at the time was showing me, like, this would have been perfect for a long arrow. It's like, a longbow, isn't it? Like, oh my gosh.
Do they grow so tall that the mist and the fog rests underneath them? Have you seen?
Yeah, you can, because it's really eerie and quite scary. And you can stay, well, you could stay over if you wanted. This is what my my fellow at the time was saying, we could stay here for a night if you wanted to. I was like, I don't know about that. But if you don't walk across this lovely walk that we did, well, I'll go back to that in a minute. If you keep walking up, then you come to all these burial sites along the top of the ridge. But on this particular day, we walked across and underneath the yews, and he was showing me how they'd used those to make the bows. And as we were walking past, I saw, how could I describe it? A golden piece of fluff. That's the only way I could describe it. Just underneath, so that was a branch, a little twig of a tree, and there's another one sort of like that with a twig. Just underneath this twig, I said to my friend Nick, look at that. And it looks like this very golden being.
Wow.
And it was hovering. And we watched it for ages, and I put my finger out like that, and it hopped on my hand, and it crawled all the way up my hand and down my thumb again. And then I offered my hand to Nick, and it went on his hand. It's like, oh my goodness me. And then we put it back underneath the branch, and it did the same thing, and it was hovering up and down, up and down.
Was that a fairy?
I think it was. Just let you make your mind up. So I was looking, and this is so amazing. I could sense it was completely and utterly in tune with me. And as I was watching and looking, we were there for about 10 minutes. I thought, now, if I lift my finger up round it just to check, just to see if there's anything, spider's web or anything, I could sense, she said, if you do, I'll go. But still, my human essence had to go like this. And as soon as I went like that, she went, woof.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I'm sorry, I doubted you. I'll know next time I come into being with you, I'll respect you and I won't doubt you. You've taught me a lesson. Thank you so much. I love you and I respect you. And all the way my heart was shimmering and it was opening. I was like, wow. And Nick was a complete non-believer, and he was saying, I really believe that was a fairy, wasn't it? I said, yeah, it really was.
Yeah, that's amazing. Have you encountered, I have a story for you, and maybe you can answer this story if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, great fit.
I wanted to show you something about a hovering light that I'm certain was a fairy. I have it, and I was going to find it because every time I pull up the browser, do you see my face goes white? So I will tell you this story, and you can tell me if this is. So I live in the Netherlands, and there's a lot of energy here as well. Holland has got beautiful woods and, also very old Germanic lands, and just in its own, the Frisians are the Celtics of this area. And so I was doing some calling to the fairy realm. And I had gotten some information, and I just had a download of information about them, not so much anything that was relevant to me, but just about them and how they were living. And I just said, I would really like to meet a fairy. I said, I said, I won't be afraid. I won't do anything. I won't move too fast. Because there's a forest I go to here that I walk in, and there's a certain area that I stand in. And when you look around, the trees all shimmer. And I never saw a fairy there, but I knew that was the energy. Do you know? That's why I was like, Is it the shimmer? Is it the shimmer? Because there's this kind of vibrational shimmer like this. And I know from different people in the UK that are really up in Harrogate area up there. Do you know where Harrogate is? Up by Leeds. The countryside is so beautiful, and they have all of these sort of stone things, and they have this whole thing about fairies there as well, and the little people and all of this. And so they said, they were talking about the love of the music that they have. So there's this one place I go to in this little forest, and I sing to them. And I just stand there when I go through. And I used to have two dogs, and I used to go there with my dogs, and I used to stand there and I would sing this little song in tribute to them, and then I would leave, you know? And so I was doing this little kind of invitation. I said, I would really, really like to meet a fairy, just, face to face, if possible, to see one. And so I guess within a few days, I was standing outside my house right outside my house, there's a long stretch of just grass. And then there's a tram. And then on the other side is grass. And we walk our dogs down this stretch. And that's where my trees are. And I've been walking there for 20 some years. And so I was walking and I was down a bit. And I looked up, and in the distance, I could see a very long man. He looked like a boy, but he was a man. But he was far away, very far. And the thing that was interesting about him is he was very long and he was very straight. He didn't have, men have like a stature. But this man was very narrow, and he had on a sort of tweed, like earth colored tweed. And they weren't long pants. They were the kind of knickers that go to your knee and then have a button. And then he had like socks, woolen socks on, and these kind of leatherish kind of shoes. And he had the same kind of jacket on with a jumper underneath that had some kind of pattern on. And he had on a cap that was like round with a brim, and it had a kind of thing like this. And he had, but I couldn't see all this until he got closer. I could just see this figure walking to me, but he was walking, and it was taking him a very long time to walk to me. It was like he was walking to me, but he wasn't getting any closer for a long time.
Oh.
And I was very mesmerized by the fact he wasn't getting closer, because I can see far, but I definitely cannot see as far as he would have needed to be for him to walk towards me to get to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the amount of time he was walking to me, he should have been much further. And I was like, he's not getting any closer. And but around him was this shimmer. So he was walking and walking and walking and walking. And I was looking and looking and looking. And then I just thought, okay, well, that's weird. And I looked down to see what my dog was doing, because I had my dog on the leash. And I looked up, and he was right in front of me. So he went from walking and walking to not being anywhere close to me, to all of a sudden I looked down and he was there. And he looked, and he had this really, he had a very rounded head, and he had dimples, and he had a very pointed nose, very pointed. And I couldn't see his ears, but he had this cap on, and his hair was curly, but it was so curly that it was like matte curly. Not like an afro, because you could see the curls, but they were so close. It was like, I feel like if you grabbed his head, it would have been like grabbing a Brillo, so thick, his hair. And it was like a round thing. And he looked at me, and then he says, hello, in English now, because I'm in Holland. So he didn't say, Goeiedag, or who is it? He said nothing in Dutch. He said it in English. And he said, hello. And I said, hello. And then he looked at my dog, and my dog went rocking right up to him. And he squatted down, and he says, can I pet her? And I said, of course. And he petted her, and he smiled at her. And then he looked at me, and he smiled. And I was thinking, what the hell is happening right now? And then he stood up. And and to top it off, he had a backpack, but wasn't a backpack. It was kind of a sack over his shoulder, which was sort of a deep red material. It wasn't tied with a string. It wasn't that typical, but it was definitely a sack of a sort of satchel bag. But it was rounded like a sack. And I was just thinking, what is happening right now? And then he stood up and he walked away. And his jacket was, the same as his pants. And then he walked away, and he walked away for probably, I don't know. And I kept watching him walk, and it didn't seem like he was getting much further away. And he just kept walking and walking. And I was thinking, what is happening? And I thought, is that a, and I was like, that's a fairy. That's a fairy. I turned and I said, Apple, what do you think this is? And I looked up and he was gone.
Did you see through him? Was he a solid man?
No, he was a perfectly solid person with the oddest kind of physicality, being so long and so thin. I think if I were to grab him, I could have put my hand not really around him, but maybe he was this wide, and he was just straight up and down. He didn't have wide shoulders. His shoulders and his hips and it was just a column. Very long, very thin, very long. Everything was long. His nose was long. And he was pleasant enough looking. And he petted my dog. And my dog didn't, thank goodness, didn't be like, And and not this dog. It was a different dog. And I was just like, what is happening? I don't know if Blue Vision says sounds like a time traveler. I don't know. Maybe a time traveler, but because it's the same shimmer that I had in the forest, because I had done an invitation, I'm wondering if that's, have you ever seen one like that was not a light? This is my question. I've asked several people, and most people are just like, I don't know.
Did he make eye contact with you? Or did he avoid it?
No, he looked at me, but when he looked at me, he did his head like, hello. Like he was waiting to see how I would react. And I was very, hi, nice, I was like, hello, very friendly. And he said, can I pet your dog? And I was like, absolutely, or of course, or something,
That's when it's all about the eyes.
His eyes were very beady, I will tell you.
Yeah.
Beady eyes.
I just saw a movie that said the same exact thing. It's all about the eyes.
What, David? Tell me what?
I have synchronicities a lot with things that I hear, and one was that it's all about the eyes. And I just saw a movie that was really good called Love and Monsters. And
he wasn't a monster for sure.
But the it's the ethereal realm is all about the shimmer. It's about the eyes. It's about the contact. It's asking, who are you? Asking the questions. Are you a fairy? How long have you been here? They love that contact. So he was probably hoping that you, because they're very cheeky as well, that energy, and they come in different forms. And they're probably thinking, come on, ask me a question. I've come, you've asked, I'm here.
Well, I think I was just so
surprised.
I would, and I didn't want to, it took me a moment to kind of think, wait. And then I was, I've heard about the music thing, that you can get swept up, and pulled into their realm and be gone for a long time and not know that you're even gone. And so I was always cognizant of that, not a fear way, but just, do you know what I'm talking about with that? So
I have heard.
I was saying, do you know that, what I was talking about with the music thing, or?
I've only had one account of that, but it's a long time ago, so I haven't heard much about it. What's your experience with that?
Well, I've been told, when I was in England, I was told to if you go, you shouldn't, I mean, if you offer music, they will come. But if they really like it, they don't let you really leave, and you kind of fall into a sort of a trance, and you'll play and play and play, and it might be days before you stop, and you don't even know. And then you go home and people are like, where have you been? So I was always cognizant of that, and I just didn't want to have any trickery. And I was also, you know, I had my dog there, and I was thinking, I don't, you know, I hope, like, my dog's very friendly and I'm really glad that she was, but I didn't want to be in a situation where, what if she wasn't, and she growled or something, and it was mistaken as, you know, an aggression. So I was sort of aware of that as well. I didn't want to cause any kind of problem, you know.
I think all energies, it's like trees. There can be some mean trees and there can be some nice trees. Most trees are predominantly nice, but some are mean. Some have gone through some horrible stuff. But it's the same. If you're protected and you have your wherewithal about you, the person that I'd connected in with, he lived in the woods, and he would hear it in the background, music, fairy music, and he knew what it was, but he wasn't inclined to sort of go and explore. But he knew what it was. So, oh my gosh, where was it? Oh, it's a long time ago.
And
now.
the music, you can't find it, right? You can hear the music, but you can't find the source of it.
It's like wisps. It's only on the ether, in the ether, and on the waves of the wind.
Wow.
Sometimes they just don't want you to discover where they are.
Right.
But if you sit in the forest, they will come to you. You're not, if you protect yourself, but Gaia, just call Gaia. And every morning you have your own way of protecting. Everybody does, don't they? But it's just having that time of sitting in the joy of nature and being captivated by that and that creation, that opens up your own beautiful vibration of your own creation, your own sacral. And then you're starting to vibrate and work with the frequency of the forest. That's the key, is to just sit. And sometimes it can take it. I've spent about 4 months ago, I spent 2 days in the forest, and I spent 4 hours of that naked forest bathing so that I could just get rid of all the earthly shackles. And there was one full moon, and this is in the New Forest, one particular campsite where you can, I've got a camper van, so you can just park your van up there, man, and just walk away. So I was sleeping and I was woken up and told to walk outside and do a moon bathe. So I just derobed and lay on there. Now, bearing in mind, you can get ticks in the New Forest. It's infamous for it, but I thought, oh, well, never mind, it doesn't matter. So I lay there and I was levitated by the moon. It was the most incredible experience because I just let go and I let peace come in and let joy come in. And I was captivated by that moment, and that breath, my breath was reaching the moon breath, and the forest was walking in towards me. And in that moment, I could just feel myself just being cleansed, and all of my particles, every cell was being illuminated, transformed. And I didn't feel I needed to breathe. And that's when you know that you're receiving healing. And I was receiving the most beautiful healing from nature. And it was just true essence. I was raising up to my I am presence. And I was smiling and smiling more and more and more. And then all of a sudden I heard this, what's that? And all of a sudden I could hear, oh, no, I'll be all right, just a little bit longer. And then I heard the noise again. And again. And I thought, okay. And just as I landed and I came back down, I could sense horse really wanting to know what was going on with the energy. But they were gathering momentum, but gathering numbers as well. So I quickly put my clothes on And I had these Wellington boots on, so I was desperately trying to put my feet in the Wellington boots and looking to the right and to the left. And there was this massive oak, and the oak was saying, Nicola, come to me. So I hid behind the oak, and all of a sudden, just as soon as I touched the oak, I could hear the thunder of hooves and arriving just behind the oak, and I could hear them, their breath, oh my gosh. So I just stood there holding the oak tree. And the
Was
oak
it wild
tree,
horses?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wild New Forest ponies.
Wow.
And I could hear them and they could hear me. And behind this oak tree was going, all right, okay. What's going on? What are you going to do? But we were at a standstill. And afterwards I thought, I'm going to make a run for it. So with my half put on welly boots, I flipped flat back over to the camper van like a duck. Got in, looked through the window, and there was nothing there.
Check yourself for ticks.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
There weren't any ticks, but
Ian asked a question. He says, what would be a great offering or a good offering for fairies? Is there something?
Money.
Shiny money, right?
Yes, so exactly. Shiny, sparkly, fluffy. Anything fluffy, a bit like them, because they like to pull the fluff into them. You remember that I was saying the gold fluffy fairy that I doubted? She was like, so anything that makes them beautiful, even more pretty. They do like flowers, because they like to sit within their own beautification, and they can like to hide in flowers. Growing plants as well sometimes have a little offering of a growing flower, not necessarily picked and cut. And what else was it? I'm thinking of shaman. They really like tobacco. Oh, crystals. Some tiny little crystals. That's what I've lain in yew trees before. Because I went back to that
shimmer, right? They catch light. They
absolutely. So anything that's fluffy, pretty. That's what I was saying about money. Yeah, because it makes noise as well. It makes a tinkly noise, or little bells. It's not tiny, weeny little bells, not big bells, little bells. So that they just love that playing energy, and they like being cheeky. Yeah. But the money within the forest, and this has been going back centuries apparently, is that you get bags of money, and you leave clues as to where the money is. And this might not necessarily be to fairies, it's inclusive of everybody. So you leave the bags of money within the forest, and you're giving, offering, paying homage to the forest. So you might leave a log particularly turned in an unusual way that might catch someone's eye, and then that would guide them to the money, and then they gift it, or then they create another trail as they find a secret place. But the offerings
how much money? I'm just trying to check to see if we have any questions on the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Do you, because if I turn on the other YouTube, the light hits me so strong, so I thought I'd look at it on my phone. But do you, someone's asking a question, but do you, how much money? Like just coins, or like significant amounts of money?
The offerings for the forest, they can come in bags. It's a thing to leave the forest offerings in bags of money. It's a thing, and you leave a trail carefully, but I can't think what it's called, because I haven't actually done it. I've just left coins for the fairies, and it's just like, it doesn't have to be money of today. It's just giving value to them, paying homage to them. I always leave two, so that you can jingle them, put them together, and because it represents worth to humans, so to them, they're receiving something that's important and value to them.
Right.
Yeah. And that you're wanting to give something that's important to them. But the bells, I've really sensed they really like that. And at the time I wished I'd to the golden fluffy fairy at the top of Kingleave Isle. I wished I'd have a tiny bell for her, because I said she really would have liked that. In fact, one day I'm going to go back, and I won't be able to remember exactly the tree, but I shall leave a tiny bell on one of the trees.
He was saying like a bell on a cat's collar, maybe like one of those tiny little bells.
Yeah, smaller the better.
Yeah, the little tinkly.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Do you, when someone in the YouTube's asking, do you have any experience with dragons or anything like that? Do you have?
I have my own dragon guide, but I haven't particularly seen a dragon in the forest. I sense my fire dragon walks with me. I can hear his tail dragging along whatever path I'm on. I can hear, I can almost sense as I turn around that I would see his tail creating a wave or a mark on the floor behind him. And when you're often out forest bathing, forest watching, because don't forget, the more time you spend on your own there, and it's safe. For me, it's safe. I've never had a problem. The more you're creating, the more you're creating your own abundance, your own awareness, your own connection to self, the more you're not connecting into these old emotions, playing these old programs. So yeah, call your dragons to really support you with doing that, to being focused on what you want to create, what you want to receive for that particular day. That's what I do, using your intuition. And I might say, look, I've been feeling a bit lonely. As soon as I step into the forest with that intention, with that focus of absolute pure love for the whole of humanity, and for my dragon to support me with that, and my guide, things happen, and you do get to connect with them even deeper. With my dragon, I can feel the bubbles, the nodules, a bit like trees, you see, a bit like ourselves. We're diverse, we're all different. I see my dragon as an extension of me, just like my cat, my familiar. She came, she adopted me, she heals with me. She's an incredible being. The birds that come, and cheeky crows that walk along my wall and knock on the window. And I'll say,
I'm big with the crows.
Yeah. To me, it's Metatron as well, just confirming, but also his buddies. But going back, because I'm a real one to diverse and digress.
Yeah.
The dragon energy, you just call it in, and if you sit in the woods and the trees, you'll feel what your dragon is, who your dragon is. You'll get an understanding. If you just have a basic knowledge, I don't know, there's fire dragons, blood dragons, air dragons, water dragons, aren't there? There's loads and loads and loads. One time a while ago, I thought, what dragon would suit me? And as I was thinking that, just close it, bring it in, come be with me, dragon, call your gatekeeper in, because you never know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm here, and I could almost feel his breath on my cheek. So although I haven't seen like your fairy actually walking towards me, I'm more of a sensey. So I could feel his breath, I could hear his tail swishing behind me, and he was walking with my shamanic guides, running there. And that's a most amazing story. When Bella came to be with me, that's another amazing story. But it's about, the focus is getting them to work with you, what you want to release, what you want the forest to take away from you. And it's releasing that stagnant energy. And before you go, setting that intention, especially if you know there's a full moon, or if there's a new moon, setting your intention with the full moon, letting go, letting in all of this delicious abundance and allowing that to flow. I was in the forest the other day, it was called Fox's Forest, very close to me. And as I sat there again, there's a wooden circle where the druids create blessings. And it was on the day before I was teaching my meditation circle. And I think I had quite a lot of clients in the afternoon. So I made that morning just for me, and I set my intention to commune with Christ did like the Grand Central Sun, because I was working with the 1111 portal and I was guiding people through it that day. And I walked in there, I saw the blessings, and I also saw some rubbish, probably from students and revelers the night before. So I picked it up, placed it in my bag, and I just sat there quietly, and almost instantly I could see lilac shimmer. I was like, oh gosh, thank you. And it is completely captivating. And as soon as you just sense, you relax, you open your heart to this beautiful vibration, you allow the color to come in. And don't forget, the color of lilac is duality in itself, because it culminates your roots, doesn't it? And your third eye. So automatically it's helping you. And that's how I work with my clients. I check out their aura as soon as they come in. I live in a very famous house. So this house is full of energy, full of magic, full of power. And as soon as they come in, I'm working with the color. So for me, I'm all about color, vibration, because this is what I've always been given in my life through the forest. Through my parents and my sister, we've always spent time bathing in the forest. And then it took me to finding a way, finding some solace, finding some answers. And I'll tell you this, because this is so exciting. So after, no, come back. So the lilac, the connection with my root and my third eye. And I was so grateful for that. And that really didn't take that long. Once I'd actually sat there, set my intention, disconnected, did my square breathing, and then I opened my eyes and there was the lilac shimmer in front of me.
Oh, wow.
And then I looked up and the sun was bleeding through all these leaves, but it was like flowing all of this beautiful, effervescent, powerful Christed light, crystalline gold liquid energy from Grand Central Sun. And I just started crying, because I was, oh my gosh, you asked Nicola and we shall give you, and I was so grateful.
Yeah.
And this emotion has come up from years and years of anguish. I haven't had an easy life, but now I have. I've got a good life, and tough trauma makes you who you are. And
Trauma
it creates.
I will tell you, trauma is, there's many ways to wake up. There is through meditation, deep meditation. There is through trauma, and there's through death. Those are the only ways.
Yes,
Trauma is transformative.
And that's when I found Metatron, because I found my husband dead in the bath about 5 years ago.
Wow. So that's one of the questions, is because I was actually having the same question, is that what led you to Metatron? How is that connection to you? So through basically trauma.
Yes.
What a trauma.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for your loss, by the way.
That's okay. Thank you. Through Metatron told me that Stuart had lost his parents early on, and he was so fed up with it. He used to drink. He was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. So funny. Laughed like Sid James, looked like Tony Curtis.
Oh, wow.
Had a brilliant sense of humour, ex-army, strong as an ox, so loyal, really just loving. And the angel said, look, we gave him an ultimatum. We said to him, Nicola's on this road to discovery. She's going to help so many people. She's going to be this powerful beacon of light in Portsmouth. We're really going to support her with that. We're glad that she works here from home. It's a therapy room. Do you want to help her with that? Being grumpy and effing and blinding at the television and football? Or would you like to come and be with us and go and see your mum and dad? And there was a no-brainer. He just decided, and that he had an aneurysm. And I said to him in that morning, you don't look right. And he went, I'm all right. just like with this inner knowing. Yeah. And it took, I'd say, 2 years for me to be able to see, no, a year and a half for me to be able to see the light that came through the carbon monoxide. In my bedroom, I've got a carbon monoxide reader, and it was just this white light that kept flashing, Now the carbon monoxide reader is red and it never, ever comes on. And the only way you can tell is if you take the batteries out and put it back in again. And this was flashing all the time. And it wasn't until I said, Stuart, is that you? And there was a hesitation, and then it was flash, flash, flash. So I felt then, yes, it is, but not all me. And then that night I had a dream, and Metatron came to me with this, again, the same brilliant white light, but flashing, and humor as well. I had this really funny dream. And it was just about Stuart really laughing and joking, but with this white, powerful being, this angel that had this white flashing light. So it couldn't have been clearer.
Yeah.
And I still see it now and again. And it's just like coming home, because it's both of them. It's duality. Everything's duality, isn't it? It's polar opposites all the time. And even last night.
I believe in archetypes, and I believe that we are, there's probably 10, 15 archetypes, and we are all them playing. And when you break us down to our core, we are really one of these archetypes. So very much could be that, Metatron is your husband, but the aspect of him that was, your husband was playing on the earth with probably no knowledge of being connected.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why some people are attracted to certain beings, because we share their essence, and because we are in fact them. There's probably 7 or 8 beings that exist, and they're just all in little parts playing roles. Divided. Yeah. So when you started working with Metatron, do you channel the voice of Metatron, or do you just channel the information, or how does that?
It all differs. So when I was at Glastonbury recently at this, it's really coming then, on top of the tour, I was channeling him, and my voice was going really, really deep. And I was doing a lot of chanting, then oming. And I was able to go, felt like I was taking them all down into the tour. And so was my voice, really sort of baritone, I think that's what it's called. And when we came out, Georgie said, "Oh my God, I turned into a man." Never heard anything like that. It felt like I was scourging, clearing the earth, the bowels of the earth. That's what it felt like I was delving down into. But it was that awareness, that awakening, that gave me the chance to lead that meditation on the top of the tour with this big group of people, and to then be guided into Chalice Wells. And that's when things changed again completely for me. My energy changed, and I wasn't supposed to necessarily be working totally with Reiki, and I was flooded with this new energy. And she was saying, "I'm the spirit of the tour, and I'm now with you, every cell." And I had a client the next day, and they were like, "Whoa!" And
are you talking about the tour? Are you talking about that tower there? Do you know? I went in that tower in a path working exercise, and I didn't know where it was. I'd never seen it, but I was told that we were going to be working in Glastonbury in the path working and the meditation. And I went into that tower.
Did you?
Yes, but I'd never seen it, and I didn't know there was a tower there. But I went there and I saw it, and then so now I have this weird connection to that tower, to the stairs that you walk up, and I still haven't been there, but I've been there. Do you know?
Yes,
There's
I
such
do.
something so special about the threshold of the stairs. And as you go into that door, I feel like you go into another realm when you go in. I feel even the stairs are there. I say that without having been there, but I can see it now in my
There's
vision.
not stairs directly up to the building, but hill.
Yeah,
That's it.
the hill. That's what I mean. Yeah,
it's almost like you're bursting forth, open, aren't you?
Yes.
Into this wonder, into this different realm.
Yeah.
Into refreshment of the soul.
Yes. So do you sit in your meditation and sort of talk to Metatron face to face?
It's energy. I always sense him. Now it's developing as well, because yesterday Bella almost was levitating and hovering, and her eyes were sort of spinning.
Bella's your cat.
With me. Bella's my cat. Yeah, and she came to me. Everybody else wanted her, but she was like, absolutely not. This is who I'm going to. Now, yesterday in the garden.
You were busy with her yesterday when we were talking. You said you were busy with her. You were busy
with
her.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So what happened? She was levitating.
She was almost like levitating, hovering, shimmering, but it was her eyes were rotating, and I've never seen anything like it. And I just felt like I was completely drawn in. I was like, wow, that's how it felt. Like it was preparing me for this, for today. And yesterday, I was sat in here, and I've never experienced this before. The whole room was covered with this thick, dense white mist. It was incredible. So that's what I mean about, it doesn't mean that he doesn't work with me in that any traditional. The traditional is kind of, I meditate for 2 hours a day, and he's always there. I know he's always there, and I'll get taken off. I'll astral plane even when I'm not fast asleep. I do it both. But it's about clearing your energy throughout the day. It's about being present and being aware. And all the time they're seeing that, they're going to be able to connect in with you even more if they can see that you're doing the work. So I always say, angels, please embody me with your 100% pure light for my highest good. Always say that. And then I clear my chakras every day, all the time. Every other time, if I'm out, I'll say that. And because of that, that's changed things so much. He really does.
Connects, the constant returning to connection and staying connected, staying centered.
Yeah, like never before. It's
that's the thing. I mean, that's what we seek, because the connection, the energy that we're connected to, is really our true essence.
Exactly.
And when we can sit in that perfect stillness, then we are able to operate from that beautiful heart space and to see things not only straight on, but from a higher perspective, and understand them in a greater way, and not be so swayed and triggered by the stuff that is going on in our world. And we can stay in that perfect little place. Salesh, he lives in the UK. He just said, I was at Chalice Wells and the tour yesterday. He's at Stonehenge right now. Salesh is also Indian descent, and he's, running around doing all of his beautiful exploration all the time, and really focused on his path, really trying to connect very much. Important. So are you would you consider yourself a druid, or would you consider yourself a goddess? How would you? Yeah,
not a druid. I respect them, but I'm definitely a goddess. I work with the Kundalini princess. I also work with Isis.
To be honest, like I keep seeing you in blue, even though you're wearing green. Like I keep seeing you in blue robes. So.
Thank you. When I was, I fought for many years to have children, IVF, and we did that for 10 years. And why at the time, it was just clearly my path, because I kept this, that's when I lost God. But I was saying at the time, I haven't now, obviously. But I was beseeching and saying, look, why have you abandoned me? How could you do this? And he always used to say, I haven't, but I could never get to the answer. And all I kept seeing was me putting on my armor in this wardrobe.
Oh, interesting.
And I kept seeing it all the time. I could even describe to you a rosewood wardrobe with beveled edge, with this really heavy armor, putting it on the headdress, and my fire horse. I had 2 fire horses. I love making that noise. It's because I could really feel.
Were you male or female in this?
Female. And I was Boudica. You are Boudica. You are Boudica. That's how I could feel it, and I could feel my goddess energy and Kundalini rising, and I knew it was. I could feel snakes starting to unfurl up my spine, and I could just feel all of the energy rising. But every time I went back into battle, I'd fight. I'd think, right, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to have that baby. I'm going to be that mum. And then I'd crash and fall and hit the bottle and whatever else that I could have, oblivion, because that is all I wanted. And nobody really understood. My friends would say, look, our children are your children. And bless them, I do have a lot of beautiful godchildren, but it just wasn't the same. And I felt so lost and lonely, even though I wasn't. So I went into this deep pit of despair and suicidal, because when I just didn't think there was anything else. But eventually, and for I would say a couple of years, I couldn't see out of that black pit. I just couldn't see any light. And in the end, I did start to come back to God. I would still work, but I would just be like a void, really, nothing. There was nothing to me. I was horrible. I'd lash out, and in the evening, then we'd have to go into battle again. I'd get Boudica to put my armor on. And I didn't ever think, what am I doing? Because I thought that was my path. I was meant to be a mum. I always in my heart, always meant to be a mum, even now. But now I know I'm a mother to all. I had to go through that to be a mother to all. And all the time Boudica was saying, it's okay, it's okay. And Isis was there as well. And I can see her there now, but I couldn't see her at the time because I was too busy screaming and shouting at God. And he was going, hey, chill your beans. It's going to be all right. There's a purpose, a higher purpose. And I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't even be communing with you, beautifulness, if I had gone that path. And it's about my present through meeting Metatron and Gaia. It gave me this opportunity to be a guide and to be able to provide an antidote to stress, to guide people into the forest, to sing by the sea, to write my smile workshops, and to have this amazing. I'm just so happy now, and it's infectious. And so in my smile workshops, I teach people, look, hidden within us is Metatron, your higher self. You'll discover who your higher self is if you meditate, yes, but also do this throughout the day. It's really easy. And smile. As soon as you smile, it releases all this in wonderful endorphins, serotonin, happy hormones, and it makes a difference. Even if you feel like really not wanting to smile, do it, because it just releases them. Yes. And then you're helping so many people. And then I would take them the next day for a nice forest walk or forest meditation, and they will still be smiling, still be communing, naturally smiling, because the forest has that effect, doesn't it? And I wanted to touch on, there's lots of trees around me, even though I live in the forest, even though I live in the city. Yeah. And Stuart's buried in this cemetery, and I've always walked around there. I'm not a one to keep going there religiously, and but I go in and I say, hi, how are you doing? And every time there was this tree, not the gatekeeper, because I pay homage and respect to him. So you get different gatekeepers, don't you? It's wonderful. And he was about 3 trees down, and I think this one particular day, I was so fed up and so lonely. I went up to the tree, and of course you're not lonely. It's all about that energy and that emotion of what you think it is. So I went up to the tree and I had a bit of a rant, and I asked these different questions beseechingly. And then I was told, just take a few breaths. What do you teach everybody? Square breathing. Come on then. I was thinking of this Metatron. So after a while, I closed my eyes, I was square breathing, and this is the most incredible thing. I opened my eyes, and as I did, these two little brown eyes were looking back at me from the tree.
Oh, wow.
And I was looking sideways. Oh my gosh. Just, oh, the most kind, loving, fatherly, soft wisdom energy. And I now know that it was the Grand Masters of the trees. And if you spend long enough with them, they'll honor that with you and they'll reach out to you. And yeah. I've been back to that tree and I have communed with it, but I wasn't in that energy where I was so needing an answer. And he picked up on that, he, she. Mm-hmm. But I always pay respect and I always say, hiya, all right. And at one point I did get a name, and then it went so clearly I wasn't supposed to have it for very long. But I will never, ever forget those little brown eyes. And I know the point at which they were, sort of, but it was only for that moment.
Wow. Wow. Were they blinking the eyes? Or
No.
No, they're just looking straight.
Yeah. They might have blinked once actually. Yeah. But you know when you're all looking and you don't want to blink because you don't want to miss a thing.
Right.
I think maybe it might have been a slow blink, but I just can see them clearly now. And the more you connect into trees, that's the more answers they give you. See, I didn't get to know that they were a Grand Master. I've only just found that out recently. And all these things start to click together once you start to, like I say, just sit in nature, feel the joy, feel that love. And that's it, isn't it? It's like when you, with regards to all different religions, for me, there's just one God, but with covers all the religions. And it's all about, for me, it's all about being kind, being loving and caring. And in that kind moment, in the moments of being kindness, doing kind acts, giving without expecting, you find joy, love, blessings, laughter, stories. I'm such a storyteller. I was brought up on kind of the stage, but amateur dramatics. My parents were very great thespians. Yeah, still are.
There's a question from the YouTube chat. He says, do you see 3D? Do you see things in your 3D? When you say you see things, and I think you do because you're saying you see them, but are you seeing them in your mind's eye, or are you actually seeing them with your physical eyes?
No, I saw it in my physical. Those eyes in the trees. And thank you for raising that, because generally I have seen the two fairies, the blue and the fluffy gold, and the Grand Master with his eyes. So it was actual tree, actual eyes, just like I'm looking at you, or you were looking at me. It was just the tree had eyes.
Have you used a spirit box?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I won't bring it up. It's a way, because with your husband coming through the electronics, I'm wondering, does he still come through or not?
Now and again. The light is always flashing. Not as, and I have to say hi. Sometimes nothing. Hello.
Yeah.
And then I might get a slow flash, sort of a, we've used all our energy up to answer you.
Yeah.
What do you want? Have you got a valid question? No? All right.
So Blue Vision asked this question. I think it's a great question. She says, what is your connection to Metatron? You've said, and why in particular is he your guide and supports you most, especially related to your elemental connections?
Because of the seed of life, this is what I've asked him. Hang on a sec. Okay, he's shown me a light code, the flower of life, but it's the same as the seed of life. And I don't know whether he's connected to my elemental, but definitely the forest. And it's about, I kind of feel like I'm walking around with this light code, the seed of life, and his cube. And this is what I was given, the image linked him to the forest and the seeds. It's almost like I see light code emptying upside down and all these little seeds. Where have I got? I've got a light. I don't know if I've got an image of it.
We know Metatron's cube.
The seed of life. You know that, don't you? That light cube.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you turn it upside down and all the little seeds come pouring out. So just knew it was like, go and help everybody sow their seeds, be creation, be the forest, watch all of the ferns unfurl, work with the spiral energy, help people to unfurl and connect back into their natural creation, be part of the forest, be where God is, be in mother, father, work to help people clear those lower chakras, their lower earthly physical energies, which is where and that's a connection to sacral. It's creation, isn't it? It's flow, it's water, it's streams, it's Gaia, it's forest, it's new forest, it's discovering new streams, new flow. Where else can I go? Let me go to where's the other place called? Not New Forest. Anyway, it's an amazing place in the middle of England. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, it's vast and it's incredible. It's got waterfalls and lakes and
wow.
Where is it?
I don't know. Celeste, where is it? What'd she say?
Oh, my brain has gone. Lake District. Lake District.
Lake District.
Have you heard of that? Lake District.
I've heard the name. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it, and I love waterfalls and caves. And I'm reading this book at the moment by Lisa Lester, Love You Lady Landscape, and it's all about the goddess energy and releasing the raw and connecting back into nature. And in Malta there's a lot of goddess caves that you can just leave blessings, spend time in, connect, communing with your inner goddess. And to me that's Isis, unlocking all of this creation, natural goddess energy. Kundalini energy is so powerful.
Have you been over into Scotland or into Wales? Or
when I was younger, Wales, I adore it. I spend quite as much time as I can there. I was with my recent partner, who I unfortunately split up with. He was from Bristol, and Bristol was mind-blowing. And when you go over the Severn Bridge into all of that, oh my gosh, the history and the energy is just incredible, completely different energy to here.
You know, I went there years ago, and I got there in the evening, and you have to know that, you know, in the West we drive on the other side, obviously, and you're driving on the other side. And I remember, and I was sitting in the front in a taxi, and there was a long, hour-long ride from the airport to where we were going. And I realized as we were driving, and I was almost car sick, because the cars were coming, the road was so long and winding.
Yeah.
And the cars were coming so fast, in my mind, the wrong way down the road.
Oh my goodness, of course.
And I realized that's the long and winding road from the long and winding road that leads to your door. I was like, whoa. And when you have that kind of connection to a creation, like that song is a creation. And when it dawned on me why he was talking about this road, because I was, by the end, I was green and I was sort of leaning, you know. Actually, I was on this side and I was leaning and I was sick almost as the road, there's the cars and their lights, and this taxi driver who I said, oh my God, I said, he says, I know this road. I travel it all the time. He says, don't worry. Don't worry, love, I'm not going to crash. But I was like, I am back seat, because, and I'm not a person who gets car sick, but because of the being tired from the flight, but it's but the countryside there is so magical.
It is.
It's incredible. It's so much more incredible than I think anywhere. I mean, now you've Brexited us, you've left us, but but it's so unique compared to Europe. It is, I mean, all of the lore and the history and the King Arthur and the knight, all of that lore, when you're there, you see it. You see it. You see where it's birthed from and how. You see the big moors and the rocks, the crashing waves on the coast, and it's so incredible to stand in it and then understand the history and the connection that's so deep within the land to the land. I feel that the UK, especially the people like you that are very tuned in to the land, it's always been there. It's always been part of the culture to have this deep communion with the water and the trees and the land itself. Just even the hills, even the energy of it, it's so powerful there. It's so powerful. I mean, not just Glastonbury, which is a powerful place, obviously, but just in general, it's so impressive. And what's unique about when you speak to someone who's sort of on a spiritual path from the UK, it's always inclusive of so much of this connection to the land, because it's so embedded, and it's really like our mutual friend Scott, when he talks about his energies, and there's many people that I've met through him, but they all have this beautiful connection to the land. It's so nice to see. And it's also I think within, okay, the church took over a lot of things, but still within the people, there's still this sort of long history that hasn't gone away. Some of it is muted, but it definitely hasn't gone away. The connection to the goddess energy, to those things. I just think it's so interesting to see, how that develops. But I see it with every person who is sort of a UK person that's really spiritual. So much connection to the country and to the land which they live. Much more, I think, than a lot of other people who have to go out and find nature, and they're really having to understand. Yeah, Ian has a question. Do you want to ask it, Ian?
Yes, thank you. Years ago, I actually watched a documentary about fairies, and it was a very in-depth documentary. And it was filmed in the UK, and a lot of it was in Ireland. And I found it fascinating how they talked about it specifically in England, where they have, I can't remember what they're called, like with the fairy mounds, where there'll be a hill with a bunch of trees, and it's nothing but a clear field around it. And that's where they say the fairies live. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
But they're like, there'll be an open field, and then out of nowhere there'll be like a hill that will be full of trees, and they say that's where the fairies live. And there used to be a time when they were planning roads, and they used to just plow through those and make the roads. And then come to find out, statistically, there are always a whole bunch of car accidents at these locations. So there were laws changed, they were talking about in this documentary, in England, to where they no longer plow through those. They have the roads go around those fairy mounds.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Okay. That sounds an amazing documentary to watch.
Yeah, it was on
I don't know
VH.
if that's the lore, but I've heard that too.
Yeah, it went into a lot of lore because it talked to a lot of different people in different areas about fairies, and people who talk to fairies and how they do it, and other people who were scared of fairies. But the fairy lore is very much alive there. But I know people who, love to go to Ireland and Scotland, and because of the energy there. But I found that fascinating that even, the government recognized that it is better to plan their roads around those mounds rather than just plow through them and put the road through there.
I think that's great. That is really great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. Wow, the lure. I definitely will have to look at that. Yeah.
So you were going to lead us in a meditation, I think.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
How long is the meditation? About 15 minutes?
Yeah, I can make it so.
15 to 20 minutes if you want.
Okay.
I think that would be beautiful, and everyone can experience your guidance. And I think, if anything, the big takeaway from this interview with you is that everyone needs to go spend some time in the forest. Yes,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's helped me.
Find a tree to hug.
Yeah, but ask permission first.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
That's really important. Yeah.
Find a friendly tree. You don't want a tree that's been, abused.
The thing is, sometimes it could be being ravaged by honeydew underneath, or it could be dealing with vibrational disturbance underneath, and it's the main teacher or spreader of news, so it's holding court for the rest of the trees. We could be into things like that. I could really go into a lot of depth by what they've told me, but yeah. So
okay,
maybe another time.
I'm going to put you on full screen, and I'm going to join this meditation with everyone, and yeah, very excited. So I'll let you take it away. One moment, let me set you. Okay, whenever you're ready, hon.
Okay. So this was a live stream earlier that's come into me. So I would like you to just get yourself settled. Take a nice deep breath in. And just begin to relax your shoulders as you breathe out. Allow your feet to find the floor. Push the floor away. Just feel the power and the solidity of the floor beneath your feet. So this magical time of year, change of season, of colour bursting forth, of harvest abundance, brings alchemy and change. It sets the scene, opening the door for Merlin to step forward, and also Metatron. So take another deep breath in as we allow these energies to connect in with us. Feel and allow Metatron's reach, his loving, guiding light during this time of great change on our planet. His reach extending far out into the celestial and galactic realms. I'm going to refer to Metatron as him in this meditation for ease of reference, but of course has both female and male aspects. Within his energy, like the tree that senses new seasons, you are asked to prepare for change. That is waiting to let go, that has already arrived. Maybe it's just on the surface. As when a tree rots down or leaves fall, letting go, a new tree also lets go. Life force, communal tree energy rises up, leaves and trees fertilizing back into the soil. Every being, every tree, every plant has this need to let go. So just visualize what you need to let go. It's nature's way and our way of joining forces, of being together, of thriving, loving. Now with your next breath, allow your heart to open, your tree crown to open, your tree crown to allow cosmic golden energy to flow into each chakra. Your third eye. Feel that flow, that golden crystalline flow into the top of your crown chakra, your third eye, down into your throat. With each swallow, bringing that crystalline golden energy deeper down into your heart space, down further into your will center, into your own solar plexus, your solar energy, your power, taking it farther down into your navel, into your sacral, and down deeper into your root chakra. Let's call upon the Kundalini princess to begin to release stuck, stagnant energies. As I call in the four directions, Mother, Father, God, and allow them to show you your inner and outer world, to see what needs changing. What emotions are you replaying over and over again that dull your sparkle, that prevent, stop your heart from shining? What will now enable you to illuminate, sparkle, shine? Just take a deep breath in and connect into what emotions will allow you to make these changes. Now I want you to visualize us all holding hands and moving forward together as one. As we have all faced many challenges and mistakes we've made and learnt from, we have somehow managed to overcome and survive these. Where does that residual energy remain in you? As we step towards the grove of trees, we each become a tree, connected by the deep roots. Feel our love and our communication. And in the middle of the circle, we see an old vinyl record player in the center of our circle, playing a record over and over that is scratched. With a blink of an eye, we are able to release this record and throw it up to ground central sun, just like a frisbee, our inner child rejoicing the release of what we have just focused on, what is ready to let go of, sending it into the ground central sun as Gaia plays, walking on sunshine. Feel this smile within your heart, lifting the natural curve at the base of your smile. Feel the waves of delight wash over you and inspire you with joy and love. Feel the kindness of the tree spirits and the fae. Feel as they step closer with Gaia. Feel 100% beautiful light beings as they connect with you and through you, clearing and cleansing with love and power allowing your sovereign energy to reach up through the forest, through the tree canopy, the vibration of power building and building. Take a deep breath here. Let me take you to my heart, says Gaia. Let me show you lush green forests. Let me show you streams, rivers, and feel me as I hold you, care for you, and ask you as the human collective to honour me. I see you. I see your I am presence. Trees, hawthorns, please move forward. We stand before you to create protection. We speak, we are strong, we are tough, and we can help you with our beautiful white flowers. Our harsh thorns will bring you duality and balance. Our tough spikes make it hard to navigate your way through the barriers of thorns, but as you do this, you face your fears and difficulties and pass through some that have already overcome, spurring you on, reminding you that it is time to claim your spiritual energy. It's time to claim your sovereign energy, your power back to its maximum, and your relationship to life. As you move forward, your sparkling, beautiful energy, your kindness, mixes with the lush, green, soft beech tree foliage. It engulfs you and expands your heart. It expands your self-awareness and self-love. You feel through every part of every cell, your part of Gaia, that Gaia is holding on to you. She is proud. She shows you soft green unfurled ferns just about to open and reveal themselves. The shapes you are seeing represent the cycle of life, birth, growth, death, and reincarnation. Take a moment with this spiral to reflect briefly an echo of past lives. As you do, you are asked by Metatron to lay down on a soft bed of downy white angel wings. You are now in white diamond light, bringing you tranquility and grace. White is a balm for the troubled soul. You are in a white diamond light, in a world that needs to be reminded of innocence, purity, and love. The spiral unravels, and see Lama, a woodland fae, a goddess, a spirit of trees, marsh, and forests. She is Eastern Baltic mythology. With hair of spirals, she vibrates love, floats up with Metatron, who is holding the flower of life code, transmitting this to your every cell, every particle. Hathor, the Egyptian goddess, joins them. She is the Egyptian tree goddess of Memphis, city of capital of ancient Egypt. Often known as Lady of Sycamore, she heals the eye of Horus with its winged fruits. You may know it as helicopter leaves. Metatron is asking you to receive the flower of life, seed of life, a sacred symbol that assists you with growth and creation. His connection to forest and new life. Now appears Metatron's cube, which includes all the platonic solids hidden inside, just like the secrets of nature. The solids hidden inside symbolized in the underlying geometric patterns found throughout the universe and our planet. Its name after Metatron, who watches over the flow of energy in creation. Now allow this to connect to every cell in your body. Absorb the symbols and the energy of these powerful light beings. Breathe. And call the trees closer, feeling yourself more and more grounded, more and more relaxed. Feel their empowerment and allow them now to fill you with the pure love, the peace that you are. And ask Metatron to inspire you with new ideas, opportunities, abundance, which will come to you when you are in line with your passion and calling. He thanks you for the way you serve others with kindness and love, and sees your heart opening, expanding, as you watch and look at your I am present growing in your inner and outer world. You are the stars, you are the moonlight, starlight of galactic origins. Know that you cannot discover yourself by staying only in warm sunshine of life. I ask you, beautiful ones, allow the colour indigo to let go of what you think you know, and follow the light of possibilities. Discover yourself, your own master. Dare to dream. Allow yourself to sink into the branches, the inner strength of the mighty portal of the mighty oak. This portal is vast. The oak who is all power, love, and healing. Its magic and grounded state of grandeur. Begin to take 2 deep breaths in. Allow them to be expansive, worthy of the oak. Feel this portal bringing you back through the trees, through their power, through their energy, through their secret, through their peace, and back into your physical body. Watch as all of the other doors, portals, just open and show themselves to you, the secrets of the forest, ready for your return. Let us now give thanks to our planet, our forests, our lone trees, Gaia, our guides, Metatron, Hathor, Gabriel, Isis, Divine Mother Mary, Mother, Father God, and anyone else I've not mentioned. I ask you slowly to come back now, taking a lovely deep breath in, feeling your feet on the floor, sending your roots deeper and deeper and deeper down to Gaia, grounding your energy deep down, welcoming gentle movement back into your body. With each breath, allowing love to expand your heart, feeling that connection from the divine, your pranic flow, washing through every cell, clearing and cleansing, and coming back and being aware of all the energies, all the elements, water, earth, air, fire, and all of the directions, and our 2 polaric states. Breathing in, coming back from this very powerful meditation, ensuring we're nice and grounded. And when you're ready, coming back into the room, taking your time to open your eyes. Namaste.
Wonderful. Let me just put myself back on camera. Beautiful. Wonderful. David, can you turn your camera off? Okay. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for that beautiful guided meditation.
Really welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
It has been amazing. And it's just so nice and gentle, this conversation, which I hope you felt comfortable after a while. Yeah. I
really
pulled up,
did.
I tell people how they can sort of reach out to you. I'll have in the description, and it'll be added in the YouTube. But it's on the Facebook, but I'll add it in YouTube what is your website?
It's Free the Spirit massagehealing.com.
Okay. And so do you do sessions on the phone, or
I do. Yeah, I do online sessions, distant healing, and online meditation groups and workshops, although I need to set some of those dates up. The courses are all written, but they'll be happening. So I'll be showing those on my website now. My support, my PA is back from India.
Oh,
So
he
was working with me in India. Yeah, he's a student, so he's so lovely.
Oh,
He
nice.
helps me with the technical stuff.
Oh, perfect. So is he able to, well, India's open now, so he can travel back and forth. But if he's Indian, he can probably travel back and forth anyway for a while now.
He's here finishing his last gap year. I'm the one that would like to go out to, but he lives in Delhi, his family, so I'd like to go out
You
there.
have to go. They'll welcome you so much. If you go and visit a family, they will make every moment of your stay just so they're so welcoming.
I did go
if an Indian family invites you to come, believe me, you will have a fantastic time, because the guest is taken care of so well. So you should definitely go, especially if you're going to be staying with a family, because you'll have a time.
I went a couple of years ago on my own with my girlfriend, and it was good in places, but I did get into a bit of bother, but I fought my way out. I was surrounded by 40 men.
Oh my goodness.
But I did fight my way out. But
oh, good. Yeah, you can.
My God, but it's a beautiful place, and it's so special, and the people are amazing. And the train rides are amazing, really entertaining, and
so much
running to catch them. Did you have that experience?
Well, I have to be honest, no, because when I go, I've always been with people, accompanied, but when I go to, say, even when primarily I go to Rishikesh, but always via Delhi, and I'm always accompanied, so I don't have those experiences too much. But I know that if I go to India in a time where there's not a lot of tourists, and I've been places where I know I'm the first white person they've ever seen, and so there's a lot of people that want to touch you and things, but the other thing that's really sweet is they want a picture with you, because they want to snap, they call them snaps. Do you want to snap? Because they want to show all their friends, like, look, I met this person from another country, so, but it's all lovely usually. And
I love it. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, me too. I want to share something with you. And now that you've told me lilac, I really even am more excited to share this with you and with the audience. You mentioned you watched Louise Kay do on the show. Did you know who Louise is before? Had you ever, you know Louise. Well, Louise is a friend of mine. And we were in California together because I was on an event called the Channel Panel, and I was going to be going, and she wanted to go. And I said, well, just come, just come with me. So we were there, and we were there for a week for the Channel Panel. And we went and did some sightseeing around in LA, and we went to the Paramahansa Yogananda Center there. Which, do you know who Paramahansa Yogananda? Autobiography of a Yogi. He wrote that. And so it's this big sort of temple and beautiful grounds. And she and I went there to see it. And we did, we saw, but when we were there, we were standing with our backs to the water in this beautiful garden. And I was using an iPad and I was holding it like this. And I was taking like a selfie with myself in the background. And I was doing like filming. All of a sudden, this like little flickering light came in my camera and it was like jumping all over me. And I was like, Louise, look at this. And she came and it was jumping all over her. And we stood there for God knows about an hour. And then I thought, well, if this is real, I'll be able to get it in my iPhone. So I put my iPad down and got my phone. Actually, it wasn't even an iPhone. It was at that point, I didn't have an iPhone. I had a Galaxy phone, and it was in my Galaxy phone, the same light. And she said, well, let me try. And she stood there and it was in her phone. And then some guy who we still don't know who he was like, what are you guys doing? Because we were just like, are you kidding me? And he came with his phone and then it was jumping all over him. So I'm going to show you this video. And I'll show you the still of it. So now we stood there for, I think, an hour and a half, but this is just a short little thing. And I just want you to see.
Do you see orbs as well?
I don't, not with my eyes. And I've never caught an orb in a photo. My friend Yana, who comes here, she catches them every time. Every time she takes a photo, she has them. And she has this, you remind me of her. I was telling you, she leads meditation groups. Every time you go to her home and she snaps a photo, it's like orbs-orific. She has them everywhere. Not me though. So let me see if I can share this.
I get them all the time. No.
Tell me when the screen has come up and you guys can see it.
Okay. I'll show you the orb that
I shared the screen. Do you see it yet? Do you see the?
Oh yes.
Okay, wait. This is the.
Oh.
Okay, that's the one picture, and then let me show you.
Oh my goodness, it's real. It's a real substance. That's incredible, Karen.
Okay, wait. Here comes the other one. This is one, and let me see. Can you see this one? Did the screen move or not?
No.
Oh, let me go back. Wait, let me have to stop the share and then I'll share it again and I'll share it with this picture. Yeah. And she and I, that's Louise in the picture with me. And we were just, we were so fascinated. Let me see.
It's a beautiful picture of you both, I have to say.
Here's this one. Well, we were so delighted here.
Oh, look at you. Oh, wow.
But what color is that?
Oh my goodness. That's iridescence, isn't it?
But do you see the color around it?
Oh, yes.
It's lilac.
To me, that looks like two shapes that are mirroring each other, creating like a craft, like that's almost like.
But do you see the?
I see a circle.
Well, do you see the blue inside? But do you see the color that's around the blue? It's lilac.
But it's like two half circles, and then you've got in between. It's like you've got the connection. Hard to explain.
I'm going to see if I can show you. Do you see this? It moved. It was moving all over. Wait, we took so many. We took so many pictures. Wait, let me go back because this was like an hour in.
Oh,
it was moving everywhere.
Oh, that looked like a strand of DNA. Then, gosh.
There's Louise because we were doing the selfies, but we were like, there it is on her head.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
You see the lilac though.
Yes.
We were convinced it was a fairy. And the thing is that we were, and this is the thing, if you can't tell, we were moving. See, the scenery is different behind us.
Yes. Yeah.
So absolutely. Here it is again. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but here it is again. And we were in different, we were just moving all over there, this sort of area. And it was still there. I mean, I have so many pictures of it. Because I swear to God, we stood there for more than an hour. And then she went and got her camera and I put mine down. And then she has just pictures with herself. Then it was on my shirt. Yeah, we were fascinated.
Oh.
I don't know. These are terrible pictures, but there it is.
That's amazing.
And we were watching it forever. And then she picked up her camera, and then it was in her camera, and I was sort of standing over there, and it wasn't by me anymore.
Wow.
So, and she was, oh, it's me talking in the thing. I'm like, I kept saying, why is it only in my cameras? And then she was like, let me try my cameras. And then it was in her cameras.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was really fascinating.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. That really is beautiful. It's like it was really enjoying, really happy, really loved your company. It was joyous, wasn't it?
We had just done a really nice meditation for about an hour in the temple. And if anybody's read Autobiography of a Yogi, it's a very, very beautiful book about this man, Paramahansa Yogananda, who came from India to the West, and he really established a lot of teachings. And Autobiography of a Yogi is also one of the books that probably is primary in a lot of people's awakening, And anyway, so it was a real honor to be able to be there, and then to have this happen just, there was no indication. I mean, we were just doing selfies because of there was a lot of flowers in the beautiful lake, and we were just doing them, and then all of a sudden this little light, started flickering around, and you can't see it from the videos, but I have it in the long one, but it would be here, then it would be here, then it would be down here. And it was like moving, and then it would jump, and then it would go. And again, when that third person came, the guy, and he took out his phone, and we were all looking, and it was jumping around on him. Then he stood there for a while with us. I mean, we were all there for a long time.
Sounds like it was checking out your energy and clearing and supporting you.
Yeah, it was an honor to have that experience.
That's the word I was thinking of, honor. That's the, I don't know whether you can see. Oh, that's the orb.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's very there's a structure in there. It's like honeycomb. But
it's hard to see.
I know, you can't see the essence of it, the structure.
Wow.
But that's an incredible picture. Or I don't know how I'd show you. That blew me away. That was at the seaside. You can see there's two orbs in that one, but the sun was dropping down this. So I'll show you that one. Oh, there. Can you see at the bottom? It's almost like the sun is dropping down. This image, something's trying to emerge. So there's that. And there,
we're having all these cameras, right? Wait a second. Oh, wow.
Was it closer? So it was like these bright cones of, I don't know, it just felt like beings. And then down the bottom, you can see another orb there.
Yeah.
Don't know why I'm pointing my finger, you probably can't see. And then there's the other one.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation.
The other orb.
Oh, yeah, there's another blue orb. Do you know? Let me tell you something. Wait, I will tell you. There's this wonderful book called Play of Consciousness. This is the book. Wait, let me see if I can. Play of Consciousness. It's by
Baba
Muktananda. What?
Was that Baba Muktananda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swami Muktananda. And he talks, have you read it, David?
Well, Mom follows that a lot. I went to his Maha Samadhi in the South Fallsburg at the ashram when he did that.
He talks about, in this book, that's really cool, he talks about his journey of meditation. And there's something very symbolic about the blue orb. He talks about it being symbolic.
Does he?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it, and I'll send you I'll screenshot or I'll photograph what he says about it. But it looks like what he describes in this.
Really? Because I only ever used to see white orbs. And especially my mum and dad went to the Valley of the King and Queens in Egypt, and in one of the tombs they took a picture and it was smothered with white orbs.
Remember when I told you that Yana takes all those pictures? She was in Egypt, in and in one of the tombs, and she has the pictures that they took, and they're incredible. I mean, it's about 10 people, around and meditating, doing their thing, but there were orbs. I mean, just every square inch of space has orbs in it. I wish she was here.
You can speak. Wow. You can speak to the orbs, and you can ask them to slow down or quicken up. If you're in a quiet setting, quiet environment, you can play with them and they'll play with you. It's incredible.
She can do it. I can't. I've done everything. Like she said, she told me exactly, take your iPhone, go into meditation, call them in, and then just start taking pictures. Nothing. Nothing. I don't get them.
If you went into West Cannet Longborough, near Salisbury, I think it's just Salisbury, you'd walk into that tomb and you'd happily have some little shots or a video of some orbs.
Maybe, but maybe I would or wouldn't. It seems like she could take pictures and they come in her camera and they don't come in mine. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, honey, I bet you would there. They appear for everybody.
I don't know. I've tried. I keep saying I'm going to go to Yana's house and take pictures and see if I get them. I swear she can take a picture and I can take a picture and they'll be in her pictures and not mine. This is true. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh.
Yeah. That's all right. I have other experiences. I don't need it. I don't need your orbs. I'm just kidding. I don't need them. It's okay. I have fairies that walk up to me on the street. I'm okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Have you had spirit appear to you in photos though? I've had men and women in spirit on photos.
Well, I've had the only thing that I've had that I'm remembering this very moment is I did a TV show on Gaia TV, Interview with ED. I did that in 2017. And I was channeling my guides, Theos, as they're called. And one of the viewers pointed it out that on the background, a being appeared. And I have an interpretive drawing that was done by this woman named Vashta Narada, who does all of these beautiful ET drawings and guide drawings. And she'd done Theos. And what appeared on the background looks just like what she had drawn and how I visualized them. Now, I didn't see it and it was caught in the film, but it's there and I could see it. So I saw that, but I have never had any things. Yeah, I haven't. I've had a lot of personal experiences, my own experiences, like the camera thing with the little fairy thing. And I've had some stuff happen that I could see with my naked eye, but not anything on camera. No. Yeah. I would like to, but I have not.
They'll come. It's not time to.
I'll just be snapping pictures more and more. Yeah, and I don't generally look for it. Like it's kind of a thing where you take a picture and there it is. That's really fascinating. I think the fact that I'm like, show me an orb, and I don't get any orbs.
Oh, that's why, isn't it?
Probably the why, yeah.
Relative urgency. They'll be like, I don't think so.
No.
We'll show you something else.
Because I asked sincerely about the fairy thing. I think that's why it showed up, and the things that I've had to happen. Not because I've asked, but because I've done just a beautiful meditation before, right? So, but I meditated before I tried to take some more pictures. It didn't happen.
No. Well, maybe the blue ones will come because they seem to be in fashion at the moment. Perhaps they're just taking their time to wing their way across the water to you.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, when I was in India and I was meditating in Uttarkashi, which is north of Rishikesh, it's up in the Himalayas. It's where all of if you think about the swamis that go in the caves, they're up in those hills, those mountains. Or if you think of, what's his name? What's the Baba? David, what's the Baba that's in the mountains? It's Huh?
That's, oh, what's the name of the ashram or the
No,
Baba?
the one that's still alive. But
Oh,
he's
oh, oh, I don't know. I just know.
anyway, there's a fully realized Baba that's almost a god status that is living in the Himalayas, and some people see him and many don't. And I was like, I'm gonna see him when I go, but people still see him, and I can't remember his name because it's escaping me at the moment. But there was a moment when I was sitting along the Ganges, and in the Himalayas, you have these huge boulders that are the size of buildings. I mean, they are incredible. You cannot, to move one, they have to literally blow it up piece by piece by piece and then clear it. But along the water, they just leave them. And so you can climb up on these huge stones that are, I mean, they're not this big. I mean, they're as big as this room, kind of, as far as how wide they are. Anyway, and I was sitting on one of these rocks, and we used to sit, I was with a group, and we would all sit on this one rock and do these meditations. And I remember going very deep into meditation. And when I opened my eyes, the mountain that was in front of us was transformed. And it was like I was in a sort of other dimensional, and I saw all of these little caves with these saints, the swamis, sitting in their deep samadhi meditations. And they say that, that they're the ones that go in these caves and go in there for years and years. They're holding the energy of the earth. That's part of what they're doing. And I could see them. And then I kind of shook it off, and I went back, and I kept seeing them. So I could see stuff like that. But I can't see words as well. I don't know. I guess 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's all great. I guess I can't complain about it. I don't know. What is his name? Babaji.
Bella.
Oh, hey, Bella. Babaji is the name.
Babaji, yeah, I've definitely heard of Babaji. Wow.
And I'm always like determined that I will see him, But I have
wow, I would love. So was that in Varanasi, is it?
Oh, Varanasi. No, Varanasi is further down.
Oh.
Where
were you?
I go up to Rishikesh. Varanasi is a very holy place. It's a very holy place as well.
That's shocking.
but that's also on the Ganges, and they do the big artis and stuff with the music and everything. And it's one of the oldest cities that's there.
I've got to go. I've got to go back again, and I will go with a group this time. I had to do the rough backpacking to experience it.
Oh. Yeah,
a bit of an intrepid
I think Varanasi
explorer.
is where they have one of the 12 main Shiva lingams. Is that right? Oh, Salesh is gone. Anyway, but it's one of the most holy cities, Varanasi, that's there.
Yeah, I did want to go.
Everything up and down the Ganges, but I mean, all of India has such an amazing, history, and that's also what's interesting about, like I talk about the UK and the nature and how people are so connected within India. People are so very connected into the energy of the different the Hindu gods and things like that, and the belief it hasn't changed that much, and that it keeps, there's a purity to it. That's
exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we're over time, but it's been so nice talking to you and enjoying, and I would love to invite you back another time when maybe when you're about to launch a class and you want to come promote it or something.
Yeah, like great.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. We'll keep in touch, and please send me any pictures of any orbs.
I will. I have to friend you on Facebook, and you can follow.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, Nicola. It's been lovely speaking to you. I wish you all the joy with your trees and with your fairies and your connections to Metatron and the moon and the everything else.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's so great meeting you, Carrie. You're such a beautiful, beautiful person. Scott was saying you shine this beautiful light, and you really do. You're a sweetheart. Thank you for guiding me gently through my first experience, and I've loved it.
Yeah,
And,
so now you can go do freely like many more shows and
yeah,
go on YouTube and start your own channel and start sharing your story. I think that would be really a nice offering for you to have other people know your work and what you're doing.
yeah, I will. I feel more confident to do that now. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Just those barriers, isn't it? It's like the hawthorn was showing up me this morning when it came. Metatron was showing me hawthorn. I was saying, "What are you showing me hawthorn for?" And it's going, "All become clear."
Mantras really come in to clear energy, to shift, through the waves of the sound. They shift everything.
Christ's crown as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the best way to connect with you, Nicola?
Through my website, or find me on Facebook and add me.
Her website is on the announcement for this, and also if you got the email, but it's on the announcement and the Hucolo things. I'll make sure it's here on YouTube so people can find you and connect with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me. It was lovely meeting you all. And I hope to connect in with you another time. So for now, sending you lots of love.
Sending you lots of love. Next week, everyone, Jim will be back. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Same Hucolo time, same Hucolo channel. Much love. Okay. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.